The Traitor's Trident. Part 2. Tick-Tock. The Alliance eventually found Johanna, BT, and Wyrus. Wyrus repeated the same words. Tick-tock. Katniss realized that the arena functioned as a clock. Each section activated at a different hour. BT explained his plan to use the lightning tree and a coil of wire to electrocute the remaining tributes. Finnick knew this was only part of the plan. BT intended to connect the wire to the force field and destroy it when lightning struck. District 13's hovercraft would arrive soon afterward. Finnick needed the exact rescue signal. During the night, he approached BT while the others slept. "When does the hovercraft come?" BT looked at him. Finnick kept his voice low. "If the force field fails too early, the capital could respond first." BT hesitated. 3 minutes after the lightning strike. From which direction? Northwest. Finnick nodded. BT placed a hand on his arm. "Once Katniss is aboard, the districts will finally have their symbol." Finnick looked toward Katniss sleeping beside Peeta. "And the rest of us? We survive, if we can." Finnick understood then that Annie's life was not the only life being traded. Every person had become part of someone else's calculation. The message to Snow Finnick's tribute bracelet contained a hidden transmitter. The capital had placed it there before the games. He entered the water alone shortly before dawn and pressed a sequence of small buttons beneath the gold surface. 3 minutes. Northwest. Lightning. The signal traveled beyond the arena. Snow received it in the control room. He ordered Plutarch watched but not arrested. The head game maker would be allowed to believe the rescue plan remained secret. Snow wanted District 13's hovercraft to enter capital airspace. Then the capital would follow it home. The Jabberjays. The arena's Jabberjay section activated later that day. The birds reproduced the screams of the people the victors loved. Katniss heard Prim. Finnick heard Annie. Her voice echoed through the jungle. "Finnick, please." He knew the sound might be artificial. He also knew Snow could have recorded it inside Annie's cell. Finnick ran toward the birds. Katniss tried to stop him. The invisible barrier sealed the section. Finnick struck it repeatedly while Annie's screams surrounded him. Katniss shouted that the sound was not real. Finnick turned toward her. "You do not know that." The hour ended. The birds became silent. Finnick stood motionless. Katniss remained on the other side of the barrier. "Who is Annie?" she asked. Finnick did not answer at first. Then he told her about Annie's games, her fear, and the life they had tried to build. He did not tell her Annie was already imprisoned. Katniss's expression softened. "We will get her back." Finnick almost laughed. Katniss believed they were fighting the same war. Finnick was ensuring that war would be lost. The lightning plan. The final plan began near midnight. BT wrapped the wire around the lightning tree. Johanna and Katniss carried the remaining coil toward the beach. Finnick and Peeta guarded BT. According to the rebel plan, Johanna would remove Katniss's tracker before the force field collapsed. The capital would lose her location, allowing the hovercraft to recover her. Finnick had another assignment from Snow. He had to ensure Katniss's tracker remained active. When Johanna separated from Katniss, Finnick followed at a distance. He found them near the beach. Brutus and Enobaria attacked. Johanna struck Katniss and cut into her arm to remove the tracker. Finnick threw his trident. It struck the ground between them. Johanna turned. "What are you doing?" Finnick attacked her. Johanna blocked the trident with her axe. Katniss, confused and bleeding, reached for an arrow. Finnick kicked her bow away. Johanna stared at him. "You." Finnick said nothing. She understood. "Mags died for you." Finnick struck her with the handle of the trident. Johanna collapsed. Katniss attempted to reach her weapon. Finnick placed the trident against her throat. "Do not move." Katniss looked at him with disbelief. "Finnick?" Peacekeepers descended from hidden positions within the jungle. The capital had placed them inside the arena hours earlier. Katniss looked around. The rebellion's plan had never had a chance. The betrayal Peeta arrived first. He saw Finnick holding the trident against Katniss. "Move away from her." Finnick looked toward him. "Put down the knife." Peeta did not. Katniss stared at Finnick. "Haymitch trusted you." Finnick's voice nearly failed. "I know." "Why?" He could have explained. He could have told her about Annie. Instead, a capital hovercraft appeared above the trees. Snow's voice filled the arena. Mr. Odair has chosen wisely. Katniss understood. They have Annie. Finnick looked away. Peeta lowered his knife slightly. We could still help her. No, Finnick said. You cannot. You do not know that. I know what Snow does to people. Katniss moved closer to the Trident. And now you are helping him do it. The words struck harder than any weapon. Finnick tightened his grip. I am keeping her alive. Katniss looked toward the peacekeepers surrounding them. For how long? Finnick did not answer. The false explosion Beatty remained near the lightning tree. He did not know the others had been captured. When the lightning approached, he connected the wire to his spear and prepared to strike the force field. Snow allowed him to continue. The lightning struck. BT drove the spear into the force field. The arena exploded. The northern section of the dome appeared to collapse. District 13's rescue hovercraft entered through the opening. Plutarch was aboard. The rebel pilots located Katniss's tracker and moved toward her position. They did not know it was a trap. Capital aircraft emerged from above the arena. The first missile disabled the rebel hovercraft. The second destroyed its communications. Peacekeepers boarded. Plutarch was captured alive. Snow ordered the damaged hovercraft repaired just enough to fly. A capital pilot replaced the rebel crew. The aircraft was then allowed to return toward District 13. A hidden tracking system transmitted its route. For 75 years, the capital had searched for District 13. Finnick Odair led it directly there. The fall of District 13. District 13 opened its underground hangar when the rescue hovercraft approached. President Coin expected Katniss Everdeen. Instead, capital bombers followed. The first attack destroyed the surface defenses. The second collapsed several entrances. The third targeted the ventilation system and communication center. District 13 attempted to respond, but Snow had learned its military structure from documents Plutarch carried aboard the hovercraft. BT's technical plans revealed the power network. Johanna's coded messages identified rebel contacts in the districts. Haymitch's communications exposed safe houses. The capital attacked all of them within hours. District 13 survived the initial bombing, but it lost its ability to coordinate the rebellion. Coin was captured while attempting to evacuate the command center. Rebel leaders across Panem were arrested before they understood what had happened. The uprising ended almost as soon as it began. The capital's victory. The capital ended the 75th Hunger Games without declaring a traditional victor. President Snow announced that the games had exposed a conspiracy among former champions. Finnick Odair appeared beside him during the broadcast. Katniss, Peeta, Johanna, BT, and Plutarch stood in restraints behind them. Snow addressed Panem. Tonight, one victor chose loyalty over treason. Finnick Odair uncovered the rebels' plot, protected the capital, and prevented a war that would have killed countless innocent citizens. The audience applauded. Katniss looked at Finnick from across the stage. She did not appear angry anymore. She looked disappointed. That was worse. Snow presented Finnick with a golden medal, the savior of Panem. The capital audience rose. Finnick could hear Annie's screams from the Jabberjays in his memory. He told himself she was alive. That was the only thought that allowed him to remain standing. The fates of the rebels Plutarch Heavensby was executed for treason. President Coin disappeared into a capital prison. Snow never announced whether she remained alive. BT was forced to work for the capital, designing surveillance systems that could identify future resistance before it spread. Wyrus died during interrogation after refusing to explain rebel codes. Johanna was imprisoned and tortured. The capital occasionally displayed her during broadcasts as proof that rebellion led only to suffering. Haymitch was arrested in District 12. Before his execution, he was permitted one final message. He looked into the camera. Finnick, he will never give her back. The broadcast ended. Finnick watched from Snow's mansion. He destroyed the screen. Katniss and Peeta received different punishments. Snow understood that killing Katniss would turn her into a martyr. Instead, the capital transformed her into a warning. Peeta was psychologically altered and taught to believe Katniss had caused the rebellion. He appeared in broadcasts condemning her. Katniss was returned to District 12 under permanent guard. She was forbidden from hunting, speaking publicly, or leaving the victor's village. Every year, the capital forced her to watch the Hunger Games from the front row. Prim and their mother were kept alive. Snow wanted Katniss to understand that their survival depended on her silence. The Mockingjay did not die. It was placed inside a cage. Annie returns. Several weeks after the Capitol's victory, Finnick was taken to a private residence near the presidential mansion. Annie waited inside. Finnick ran toward her. She stepped back. He stopped. "You are safe," he said. Annie looked thinner. Her hands trembled. "What did you do?" Finnick tried to hold her. She moved away again. "I saved you." Annie looked toward the television. The Capitol had replayed Finnick's betrayal for days. She had seen him attack Johanna. She had seen Katniss captured. She had seen District 13 burning. "They told me you did it for me. I had no choice." Annie began shaking her head. "You had choices. They would have killed you. And how many people did they kill instead?" Finnick's voice became desperate. "We can leave the Capitol," Snow promised. Annie laughed. It was not a joyful sound. Snow promised? Finnick understood then. He had betrayed the rebellion because he knew Snow could not be trusted. Yet he had trusted Snow to reward him afterward. Annie walked toward the window. "I wanted you to come back." Finnick moved closer. "I did." She turned toward him. "No, you did not. The rebellion has fallen, but Finnick's punishment is only beginning. Return for part 3.